Hey Beacon, welcome home to your Bounce Back Blueprint Community podcast, where you are challenged to be, do, and have God's best as you thrive on your journey from setback to success. I'm your Bounce Back guide, Tiffany Huff Struthers, and I'll be guiding you on the journey by sharing tips, tools, and the tea on how I was able to bounce back from escaping death, healing from heartbreak, and finding hope in homelessness. And then I wrote an award-winning book all about it. And shout out to God, ever since I was courageous enough to share my story, my life and the lives of women around the world have been forever changed. And as a member of the Bounce Back Blueprint community, I'm called to teach you to do the same. So grab your journal and let's build this blueprint. Hey Beacon, before we get into building the blueprint, I want to bless you with this week's review. And this week's review is coming to you from the Atkins highlight reel. And she says, listen if you want to be inspired. I agree, we can all turn our messes into messages, and this podcast walks us through how to do just that. Listen to feel inspired, to ditch the hopelessness, and turn your mess into a message. Yes, thank you so much, the Atkins highlight reel. Listen, Beacon, if you have not already, please take a moment or two to leave a brief review if this podcast has been blessing you. When you do, you are a blessing to others. Also, I want to make sure that you know that the Reclaim Your Life workbook is still available, and you can get it with the link in the show notes, which is bit.ly/Reclaim Your 2020. Now, this week, I'm excited to share with you some goals that you can set to really get yourself going and potentially finish writing your book before the end of 2020, because 2020 is not canceled. We are still living out purpose over pandemics, and we are pressing through to be and do and have all that God has called us to. So grab your journal, grab your coffee or tea, and let's get into these 5 goals that are going to help you get the book written. I have 5 goals that I want to share with you that you can set to get yourself started with making progress towards your goal to actually become an author this year. And the first is to affirm your goal, affirm yourself as an author. And if they're not there already, in a little while, there will be some affirmations in my highlights that you can take a look at, you can check out, so that you can begin to speak your truth over yourself every day, and if necessary, several times a day. You know, you have to be the one when no one else will tell you you can write a bestseller. You have to be able to say it to yourself. I will write a bestseller. I am going to be a best-selling author. I have a powerful story to tell. My story will change lives. These are things that you need to affirm in yourself. So that's the first goal I want you to set, to affirm yourself as an author every single day. And like I said, there will be affirmations for aspiring authors in my highlights for you to utilize for this purpose if they're not there already. Second goal that you can set as an aspiring author is a goal to write for a certain amount of time, right? So you can say, I'm going to write for 3 hours a week. You could say, I'm going to write for 7 hours a week. You could even break it down into a daily goal, but set a goal for how often or how frequently you will write, and be specific. So if you say, I'm going to write for 3 hours a week, does that mean you're going to write for an hour 3 times a week? Does that mean you're going to write for 30 minutes 6 days a week? Be very specific with your goal, not to put pressure on yourself, not to become legalistic, but so that you can measure your progress, and so that you at the end of May will be able to reflect on whether or not setting said goal has helped you make progress, or in fact, if you did the work to meet your goal, and if you didn't, why. So the second goal you want to set is how long you're going to write, or how often you're going to write each week, each day, however you choose to do that. third goal you can set as an aspiring author is a word count goal. So when I was writing 30 Days Stay, my award-winning work, which you can grab your copy of using the link in my bio, shameless plug. When I was writing 30 Days Stay, I knew that the story was overdue to come out. I was not blocked, and I had a goal for when I would get the book done. So I had a daily word count goal of 2,000 words, and I had a goal to wake up every morning and write. So I had a word count goal, and I had a time of day that I would write. I did not necessarily have a time limit because I had a word count. So as long as I got to my word count, the timing wasn't necessarily as important to me because I knew I was going to write every day. But if you have a word count goal, then that means that you're going to commit to writing, say, 500 words or 700 words every day or every other day, or however often you decide that you're going to write, you will meet that word count according to that frequency. So the third goal you can set is a word count goal. The fourth goal I want you to really consider setting is to get an accountability partner. And to take that a step further, get an accountability partner and set a goal to connect with your accountability partner according to one of the previous two goals. So if you have a goal to write 3 hours a week, then set a goal to connect with your accountability partner once a week to check in with your goal, see if you need to modify it, and maybe they can help you or support you in making sure you meet the goal the following week if you didn't. Hey, Lisa, you see me? You see me supporting you? And then the final goal is to ask for help if you need it. If you are setting goals consistently, if you are making attempts to write your book consistently, if you find yourself constantly getting caught up in the myth and the distractions of writer's block, then if you know you are called and purposed to write this book, you need to ask for help. Just because it's a divine assignment does not mean that God expects you to do it in your own strength on your own. And if you are in need of assistance, if you need help with breaking through writer's block, if you are challenged by where to start your book, how to start your book, if you haven't become crystal clear about what the message of your story is, even though you know you have a story, then it is likely that you need some help. And as a writing coach, as someone who specializes in helping women specifically who have a personal story to tell, break through the myth of writer's block, I would love to help you get your story out into the world. And so if that is you, then I encourage you to take advantage of the free 20-minute clarity calls that I offer. You can register and set up a time to speak with me via clarity call using the link in my bio, or you can go to bit about your story and I can share with you the ways that I might be able to help you, and we can work together to make sure you accomplish your goal to move from aspiring author to published author this year. So very quickly, I'm going to recap the 5 goals you can set as an aspiring to ensure that you begin to make progress toward your goal of becoming a published author. Number 1, you can affirm yourself daily as an aspiring author. There will be affirmations in my highlights very shortly. Number 2, set a weekly goal for how often you will write, and then schedule those times and those days in your planner. Number 3, you can set a daily or weekly word count goal and then break those down and schedule those writing times in your calendar. Number 4, you can get a accountability partner to ensure that those previous goals that you've set, you are maintaining them, you are being supported through them, and you will have someone who might be able to encourage and support you through the point that you begin to meet those goals. And then finally, your last, if you need help, and reach out to someone. Specifically, reach out to me via the link in my bio set up your clarity call and let's work together to get your book written and published this year. And I would love to hear from you. Were these goals helpful for you? Are you struggling in another area that you would love for me to do a podcast episode about? Let me know. Hit me in the DMs on Instagram or Facebook at the Tiffany Huff. You can also email me. My email is below, hello@tiffanyhuffexperience.com. I would love to hear from you. Of course, I would greatly appreciate it if you would take a moment or two and leave a review. By doing so, you make an opportunity for other beacons to find this information and this community and get in position to turn their tests into testimonies and get on the journey with like-minded women just like you. I'm so grateful that you are here with me. I cannot believe this is our 40th episode, and stay tuned. There is a plan for a big celebration and giveaway for episode 50. So make sure you have subscribed wherever you're listening so you are aware when episode 50 giveaway information is going down. Remember, of course, God is not going to play you. But if you think you're going to finish your book without setting goals or asking for help, sis, I promise you are playing yourself. Be blessed.